NASA has now made a briefing on Starliner's return strategy. NASA has announced Crew 9 mission with SpaceX. SpaceX and NASA all set to launch Crew 9 mission. Boeing Starliner will return. Boeing Starliner to return back in September. There was a briefing which was done by NASA with regards to the Starliner's return strategy. NASA has announced Crew 9 mission along with SpaceX. Sunita and Butch to return in SpaceX aircraft. Sunita and Butch will return in February 2025. Now, astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore have been in space for over 2 months now. In fact, it was on the 6th of June that both the astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore arrived at the International Space Station on board Boeing Starliner. Their mission was initially planned for just a week. Their stay has been extended to nearly 80 days due to various technical glitches with the aircraft.
The decision to keep Butch and Sunny aboard the International Space Station and bring the Boeing Starliner home uncrewed is a result of a commitment to safety. Our core value is safety, and it is our North Star. And I'm grateful to NASA and to Boeing for their teams, for all the incredible and detailed work to get to this decision. I want you to know that Boeing has worked very hard with NASA to get the necessary data to make this decision. We want to further understand the root causes and understand the design improvements so that the Boeing Starliner will serve as an important part of our assured crew access to the ISS. I have just talked to the new Boeing CEO, Kelly Ortberg. I have expressed this to him. I told him how well Boeing worked with our team to come to this decision. And he expressed to me an intention that they will continue to work the problems once Starliner is back safely, and that we will have our redundancy and our crewed access to the space station.
My colleague Milan Sharma is now joining me on the story. Milan, this entire mission began on the 6th of June. It was initially just for a week. Unfortunately, it's been 80 days and counting for both the astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore to be stranded in space.
Of course, Aishwarya, it's a very welcoming news that has come forward from the NASA today, because it was anticipating that the return for the crew members, the two astronauts, Sunita Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore, became more and more difficult because they had to stay in space for a long period of time. They went for the mission only for 8 days, but they have been stuck in space for more than 2 months already. And their return is of significance to the entire astronaut community as well as NASA, and which is why they were contemplating switching from the Boeing Starliner cruise ship right now and bringing them back. The decision has been taken by NASA, as announced today, that they will be brought back to India on a SpaceX ship next year. Remember that SpaceX founder is the world's richest man, Elon Musk, and of course this is a decision that NASA has now taken. The NASA is saying that already it's been so much time for the astronauts in space there, and they are continuing their work abroad at the International Space Station. But significantly, the timeline for their return to Earth will be pushed till next year, February 2025. And considering that the Starliner mission is critical for Boeing, it's already faced substantial financial setbacks in its development. And NASA has now announced for these reasons that they'll be going with SpaceX, which will be the ship that will bring back the two astronauts, Sunita Williams as well as Butch, from space back to Earth there, Aishwarya.
Right, Milan, one of the crucial things that everyone at the moment is looking at, and that's what even we in India are very firmly keeping an eye on, is the health of both the astronauts. Because from what we are understanding at the moment, for them to be in space, initially they went only for a week. Now they have been there for more than 80 days. So the health concern is a major scare at the moment.
Of course, they were facing issues and technical issues with the Starliner, and which is why their return has been delayed for such a long time. And there were reports that, they would only have about 96 days of oxygen perhaps left with them to survive in this long flight as well. But at the moment, what we hear from NASA is that both astronauts are doing well and are healthy and are confident of the fact that the return missions are also going to be successful, and it's going to bring them back on Earth. Of course, the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule has been selected. This is going to be a NASA announcement, which we'll have to wait and see how and when the modalities and technicalities of this will be revealed by NASA itself. But the crucial announcement there is the return of the astronauts, as you mentioned. And yes, Sunita Williams as well as Butch Wilmore are now slated to return to Earth in a SpaceX ship in February 2025, which is a crucial date that has been set. The Starliner mission will perhaps begin undocking before that, perhaps in the month of September, is what is being told by NASA at the moment.
Right, Milan, stay on with me. Let's once again listen in to the updates that are coming in from NASA with regards to the return of astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore.
Conducted a poll. All of the organizations on the polling sheet indicated that they thought we should proceed uncrewed with the flight test. And so our next step will be to process toward that uncrewed flight test, to finish those preparations, and we'll have another part 2 of the readiness review Wednesday or Thursday next week, we believe, to make sure that we're ready for undock and to complete the test. We are still in the middle of a test flight. We have to remain vigilant. We need to get the vehicle back on deck, go through the data, and once we've done that, we'll start thinking about our next steps for Starliner's next flight.
Milan, thank you so much for giving us all those details. Sunita and Butch Wilmore have been in space for more than 2 months, and now a strategy has been put in place. They will be returning to Earth in February 2025.